It's a momentous occasion in the sense we have just achieved our QS ranking in the global Masters in Marketing and Masters in Finance. And what next? I would like to take you through the journey as to what got us there. IFIM Business School started its journey way back in 1995 when our founder, Sri V.B. Parode, thought that we need education in our country which needs to be integrated with the global economy, and our financial markets require professionals. He believed that education is about enablement. He was brought up in a very small village called Sindhi in Maharashtra. And from a very humble beginning, he went on to become the Commissioner of Income Tax in Mumbai. And at a point in time, at the peak of his career, he thought of becoming an entrepreneur and started what today is the Dalal Street Investment Journal. He owed his success to education and believed that it is education which empowers and enables. And that's the vision with which IFIM Business School started this journey in a small campus in 1995 at Banshankari. It was the initial years, and the initial challenge was to get it credibility. The institute achieved the NB accreditation, the equivalence of its PGDM program with AIU, or Association of Indian Universities, during this phase, which we term as IFIM 1.0. The campus in which we are standing today at Electronic City came up in 2003. These were the initial days of IFIM Business School, which we term 1.0, initial credibility, coming to our own new campus here in Electronic City. 2010 was again a landmark year. Our present chairman, Sanjay Parode, who is a professional by training, being an alumnus of BITS Pilani, and was a very successful entrepreneur. He exited from his business and thought that he would take up the mission of contributing to education. 2010, Sanjay Parode joined IFIM Business School and started getting more involved. And that is the time when we thought that the institute must have its own mission, vision, and should start the process of differentiation. The institute, at this point in time, came up with its own mission that you see today. The mission of grooming holistic, socially responsible, continuously employable professional. The vision to emerge as a most sought after destination for management education also was, made around this time around. The institute created its own curriculum, which is different from the more established ones, and the focus was on practice. This is the time when all these practice courses, which have become much more established today, like the social immersion program, the long industry internship program, the research incubation, all that started around that time. And one of the most distinguishing feature of our curriculum, which is unique probably in India or maybe globally, is the personality enhancement program, which talks about two very interesting things, lifestyle and life skill. As we fight the COVID pandemic today, most of the educational institutions are talking about wellness and fitness. Way back in this journey, starting from 2010, the institute, under the leadership of Sanjay Parode, thought much ahead of time and introduced a wellness program which had required credits, which was very, very unique. This is the time also when the quality journey started. The institute got its ISO 9000 certification, and by 2014, it was SAQS accredited. Our chairman Sanjay Purode understood that if the institute has to make a mark, it needs to benchmark with the global best. And hence the journey for AACSB accreditation began. The journey for AACSB accreditation ended in 2018, and IFIM Business School became the 6th institution in India to be accredited by AACSB, which probably for very, very large number of people was a big, big surprise. And that ushered in the beginning of IFIM 3.0. What next post AACSB accreditation? One of the things that we did was to position ourselves for beyond tomorrow, which means a curriculum which will be aligned to groom professionals for Industry 4.0. We did an extensive exercise with the National Human Resources Development Network, and we did structured interviews of around 300 professionals and 3 roundtables across 3 cities of Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore, covering around 43 senior executives, including CXOs, to see what is the need of the industry. And that led to the new curriculum, which came into force with effect from 2019. And there are certain special things in this curriculum. When we talk about T-shaped professionals, we thought about those skill sets which will be relevant to Industry 4.0. Unique initiatives like super specializations in the area of MarTech, FinTech, Big Data Analytics were introduced in partnership with global institutions like ESCP London or Darden School of Business, University of Virginia. We also introduced a very unique specialization program, which we call the SpecX, in the area of sales and service, banking, capital markets, and digital HR. Now, these were very unique features of our curriculum, and that's something which we integrated with the industry. We came up with a pedagogy of learning by solving. And while being a participant, our participants were working on real-life projects with the industry. We approached the industry with requests for problems. And the student groups, along with the industry mentor and the faculty, worked on these projects to actually come up with solutions to real-life problems in the industry. I'm happy this is the first year that we have done this, because the curriculum was instituted only in 2019. The first batch is doing this. In spite of the pandemic, the outcome of this initiative is so positive that we have got 60 plus students right now who are actually got an offer as an outcome of this initiative, which is learning by solving. It's a very interesting thing. We just not partnered not just with the corporates, but we also partnered with the global institutions around the world. Our initiative started making global impact. Research incubation as an initiative was accepted as one of the top 15 innovations in the Asia Pacific region by AACSB. We also had the design thinking and innovation initiative we started and culminated with innovation exhibition coinciding with our Founders Day. Our social immersion program aimed at creating an impact in terms of the SDGs. And we identified around 7 SDGs on which our students worked to make an impact. The Academy of Indian Marketing joined hands with IFIM Business School, and we came up with the AIM Parasuraman Center for Service Excellence. The research work, the first ever index for service excellence, was unfolded sometime in January last year, and the industry has accepted it. Our faculty and the research group actually made presentations to corporates ranging from the State Bank of India to new age organizations like the big baskets of the world. In whatever action we did, one of the things that we did was to look at what impact each of our actions are making on the society. When most of the institutions have very different approaches to fundraising, our student group actually works on a very interesting fundraiser called Kannathan, which is a mini marathon, which is organized each year. And this year, we got 10,000 plus participants, generating almost 40 lakhs or 4 million in terms of revenue. And this fund is then used for our social programs, where we work on 5 villages at Kolar as part of the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. The funds that our students raised as an outcome of Kannathan this year, I'm happy to say, was utilized for the purpose of reaching out to those impacted during the COVID pandemic. And I think for this, our students and the faculty group during these tough times did that is something which deserves a big round of applause. This COVID pandemic also gave us many challenges in terms of carrying out with our normal schedule of the academic calendar, in terms of teaching, learning, in terms of assessments and examinations, in terms of progression, that is convocation, and also in terms of career opportunities for our students. I am happy to share that we did not deviate from the calendar, and all our teaching learning activities went on, including the assessments. I think we were the first institution in the country to have an online convocation, where none other than the Honorable Speaker of Lok Sabha, Sri Om Birla, delivered the convocation address. This time when the country was going through a lockdown, each one of us raised the bar to make sure that the machinery runs smooth. We came up with new innovations, innovations like new programs in terms of learn from home. This is a program meant for the executives, where the practicing executives can actually learn at their convenience, and these are live lectures and not the recorded ones. We are one of those institutions which utilize the time during this lockdown to raise the bar. Our global partnerships across the world was featuring around this time. We partnered with a number of institutions abroad, ranging from Australia to Europe to USA and UK. Institutions like State University of New York, ESCP Europe, Rain School of Business, University of Wollongong, all these partnerships happened over the last 1 year. This year is also very, very special. While most of the institutions are contracting, we are expanding. This is the year when IFIM Business School actually came up with the new university, which is Vijayabhumi University, our second campus near Mumbai at Karjat. A university which is very, very different. Different in the sense that we looked at the whole issue of discovery as a journey. The journey to understand self and to discover one's own strength. The 4 anchors on which the university will rest are discovery, social responsibility, holistic development, and a continuously employable professional. This becomes the 4 anchors of this university. While talking about this university, I go back in time for some time. In 2018, the first half, once in February, the AACSB accreditation happened. I remember our present chairman, Sanjay Parode, sending a message that he's coming to Delhi. He came to Delhi and said that, okay, we have come this far, what next? And that something makes him special. That every time something is achieved, the next goal he wants to set. So what next? We traveled together to Singapore. And we were just walking and chatting around different places for around 3 days. And while passing, we remember we not only created an agenda in terms of what we plan to do next, but also what will be our benchmark university. And we remember looking at Singapore Management University to be the benchmark university way back in 2018. We worked on a strategic plan at around that time, and we worked on the agenda that this is what we want to do. As per that plan, one of the things that became important was global ranking. And a university which is benchmarked around the SMU or the Singapore Management University. Vijayabhumi University, I am glad, today has similar kind of departments which are related to business, like the School of Data Science, School of Design, School of Law. And because we are talking about a liberal curriculum, we are talking about social sciences, humanities, and performing arts. We are today offering programs like the BBA LLB, the Bachelor of Data Science, Bachelor of Design, and not just the conventional PGDM that we offer from our present campus. I remember when we discussed in our plan, the target to get into global ranking was in 2022. And suddenly we find in 2020, we are there ranked by QS. Today is Mahapanchami. And it has got a significance in the sense that the Durga Puja happens around this time. And this time Durga Puja is happening. So we celebrate Navaratri twice, during spring and during the autumn. Now autumn Durga Puja has got a specialty in the sense that there is a bodhan or the invocation of Goddess Durga, which is not there during the spring Navaratri. During spring Navaratri, we have Uttarayan, or the summer solstice. That time the goddess is awake. So we don't need to do the bodhan or the invocation. But it was Lord Ram who was actually going to fight the demon Ravana to rescue his wife. And Raman was a very powerful demon. So in order to conquer Ravana, to defeat Ravana, Lord Rama required the blessings of Goddess Durga. And hence, he had to invoke Goddess Durga early, before spring. And hence, the bodhan, which is done invoking a bell leaf or a billapatra. Today, the IFIM 3-point journey under normal circumstances would have lasted till 2022. But we are having an early bodhan, which is in normally what we call Akal bodhan in autumn, the Durga Puja that we do. So we are invoking IFIM 4.0 early. And to take you through the journey of IFIM 4.0, I would like to invite Chairman Sanjay Parode to take us through as to how he looks at this journey. And as I welcome my beloved friend Sanjay Parode for this, I would like to recite one shloka from the 12th chapter of Sri Sri Chandi, because this is Durga Puja time. Sarva Vadha Vidir Mukta Dhana Dhanna Shutanita Manushya Mat Prasadena Bhavishyati Na Sanshaya. Let all obstacles be removed. Let there be prosperity. With her blessings, success is a certainty.